The Sportsman's Table is brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Agriculture. Whether you live in South Carolina or coming to vacation, make sure you're purchasing South Carolina-grown farm products. Make sure your food is South Carolina certified. It's a matter of taste.
Welcome to this week's Sportsman's Table, folks, on the beautiful campus of Horry Georgetown Technical College at the International Culinary Institute here in Myrtle Beach. Joining me is Chef James Levy. He is the owner, the chef of Low Country Private Cuisine here in Myrtle Beach. And I tell you what, James, listen, man, I tell you what, it's great to have you as a guest chef today. You've got a very special recipe. Tell me about it.
I do. It's a pleasure to be here, Bob. I appreciate it. So what we're making today is a shrimp and grits, but I call it my twisted shrimp and grits.
Okay.
The twisted part of it is my oil that I'm going to be cooking my shrimp in. So I've got some bacon drippings in here already because that's traditional shrimp and grits.
Gotcha.
This is spicy shrimp oil. It's vegetable oil that's been infused with the shrimp heads and tails, along with some ghost pepper, some roasted garlic, roasted onion. And that gives just a little bit of spice that the creaminess of our grits is going to offset. Now my grits over here, I make different than your standard breakfast grits. I like to call it dinner grits. It's cooked in chicken stock. And then towards the end of the cook, I add some mild cheddar cheese and some heavy cream to it to give it a good heartiness and some smooth creaminess to offset the little bit of spice that we've got. So my grits have already cooked. That you do that in advance. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and go down with our shrimp and get them started. As soon as they're done, we're going to build our plate and dig into it. So these are fresh local, and when I say local, I mean right off the coast, came out of the water yesterday.
Oh, great.
Shrimp that I get from a fella named Trapper Cannon.
Okay.
He's always great for good, fresh local shrimp. They've been peeled, deveined. Tails have been left on because that's the traditional presentation on a shrimp and grit, but that's really up to you. Like I said, I've got my bacon drippings and my oil down, and we're going to hit these guys with a little bit of a Carolina bay spice. It's made up towards Charlotte.
Okay.
And that'll spread around as we get them cooking and flipping.
Awesome.
And with your shrimp, what you want to do is you want them to be pink and white on the outside, but still just a little bit translucent in the middle, because when you pull them off, they're going to keep cooking from the heat they carry. And that should give you a pretty perfect shrimp with a consistency that is not like bubble gum. That's what we want to avoid.
Okay.
So these guys don't take real long at all, maybe 90 seconds per side. And we've got them in there with that good spicy shrimp oil and some of those bacon drippings.
All right, James, what's next?
All right, well, from here, Bob, we're going to move our plate right here.
Gotcha. All right.
And we're going to start dressing these guys.
Oh,
the
wow.
first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dress the grits with a cream sauce that I make. I use a bit of the Old Bay spice. It's closer to a gravy than a sauce, probably. But I like to put just a dollop in the middle there.
Okay.
And that creaminess is going to help offset some of the spice that we've got in here, too.
And folks, if you want a copy of James' recipe, just log on to bobredfern.com and it'll be right there. And you can actually see the video while he's cooking it. Okay.
And these guys
are
the shrimp that made our meal today, so I thought I'd give them some camera time. Those are the shrimp I used to make the shrimp oil. So now we're going to garnish with just a little bit more mild cheddar.
Oh, wow. Now, cheese always makes it good.
And you and my wife believe that. They're the same. She's a cheese lover. We're going to go on now with some, we've got some yellow bell pepper. We've got the whites from my green onions that I'm getting ready to garnish with.
Oh,
and
wow.
then we've got some garlic that's sauteed in there.
Ah, the spice of life.
Oh yeah, I like good color in
There
food.
you go.
I cooked the peppers just a little al dente because you want to have a little bit of that crunch left in them.
Right.
Now we're going
And
to
the
go
good thing about it is it's all certified grown.
It
here in
is.
South
I went as in South Carolina as I could with everything
you
here,
bet.
and I scored pretty good. Most
There
of
you
it
go.
I got over at Lee's.
Yeah, there you go.
They're always good for local food. So here's everybody's favorite, and that's the bacon. Everybody loves it, but I try not to cover it up. We want all those good colors to pop. Just a little bit of fresh diced tomato for some crunch, a little bit of acid, and then again some more color pop.
Okay.
And then our last two things, we're going to put some fresh cut spring onion here. Or last three things. I don't want to forget our shrimp.
Ah.
Now, this is an applewood smoked salt.
Okay.
And I like using just a little bit of it to finish with because
wow.
that smokiness, it works really well with everything we've got going in here. It really marries those flavors together. And now we're going to go on with our shrimp. We're going to run them just right around the rim of the bowl here. That way.
Isn't it amazing how shrimp makes it all better?
It really does, especially these sweet local shrimp. They're like our blue crabs. You can't find a shrimp that has a meat that's as sweet and, if it's cooked right, as tender as what we have here on the Carolinas coast. I wouldn't cook with anything else. So we're just going to go with a pretty little circle of shrimp here to accent our shrimp heads.
Yep, and they're looking on out there.
They are. They're getting their 15 minutes of fame,
There
aren't
you
they, Bob?
go. Yes, sir.
All right,
Oh,
and
wow.
that is it, my friend. That meal
Oh,
is ready to be
James,
enjoyed.
Look at that. Wow. And folks, I tell you what, there you have it. James Levy, the executive chef, the owner, I tell you what, of Low Country Private Cuisine in Myrtle Beach. Thanks so much for bringing this to our show today. And man, you do good. We'll have to have you back sometime.
I'd love that, and I appreciate you having me
Oh,
on, Bob.
you
It's
bet.
been great.
You bet. And folks, log on to certifiedsc.com and see for yourself what's fresh on the menu. We'll be right back here again next week on another great recipe, the Sportsman's Table.
To find out more information on supporting local South Carolina farmers and their products, visit certifiedsc.com. It's a matter of taste.